here we go. Hello everyone, welcome back to Tales of Gonbarra, Wayward Survivors. Last time we left off, our wonderful, chaotic crew finished dealing with some pesky little raptor boys in a somewhat violent way. Not the most violent way, though. That has to go to the ant, right? And then Bixus led you in further and took you to Rawhide Gulch, a small settlement that's situated more or less in a crater. And you guys got your wonderful animal companions packed up, and you are now free to explore the wonderful town. It's probably the shortest recap we've done in a while, but you know, gotta have fun with it. Anything I'm missing?
Yes, I believe we ended in the tavern over drinks. Fi was going to be offered a coffee, I remember that.
Yes. I remember that in particular because you were really excited to see what would happen with the Archon with coffee.
Give that dog some coffee.
We're gonna give that Archon some coffee. That's a good point to open up on.
And we had also just been informed by one of the druids that we were going to be given some tests.
Yes, I don't remember the druid's name, but it was named after a shrubbery, so just give me a little bit. The druid is off trying to figure that out, so you have some time to quote-unquote kick back and relax and maybe process a little bit of what's been going on. Because since you've arrived in this world, it's been, and meeting each other, it's kind of been non-stop action of prehistoric creatures and gotta escape, gotta survive, gotta escape, gotta survive, and now you're here in this tavern, just kind of chilling, alive. It's getting towards the afternoon, evening. The shops and places are probably getting ready to close up here in a few, but if you needed to do any shopping or wanted to poke around and find out, you are more than welcome to. I am giving you guys free reins.
Don't want to, do too much time on it, but Ms. Evil looked to be like getting just spell components. Just the simple stuff.
Sure. And this is more for just fun fact that I found out a little while ago, and wanted to share, and I haven't found a good opportunity till now. Let's go get your punchline items. All spell components are all like punchline bits for their spells.
Oh, yes.
It's like what Featherfall uses a literal feather.
Or irresistible laughter is a piece of pie for the pie in the face. Or minor illusion is a bit of fleece to pull the wool over someone's eyes.
They're all horrible puns, and I love them.
Like, slow is a bit of molasses.
Detect thoughts is a penny for your thoughts.
Uh-huh.
I'm in the future, not for this campaign, but in the future I may make that more of a requirement because it's just funny.
Really funny.
So yes, you wish to go find spell components, my friend. My wonderful...
Just to make sure, I'm a wizard. I don't do much.
Well, there's so much to learn and see, and people to talk to. But you wish to go find your components, so I do...
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
See, it's the Flavian curse.
Scene? Oh,
the internet ate him.
Internet ate him. Oh, he disconnected, reconnected. Try now.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
That CRISPR thing turns on right away, and I think that's what does it.
Ah, that might be it.
CRISPR, the gene editing technology?
No, the CRISPR, whatever this
Oh, right.
Russian thing. I guess it's just CRISP, but whatever.
I mean, hey, it's such a good gene editing program, it changes your voice digitally, apparently. No worries. So what were you saying, C?
I wasn't saying anything, so I was actually kind of surprised it picked up anything.
No, fair enough. So, which one is my shopkeep? I didn't make a shopkeep. Fun! I knew something was going to happen like this. This is why I have the book here.
And I managed to find it right at the beginning. Whoops.
Oh, you're fine. One second.
Oh, also another spell component for jump. A grasshopper's hind leg.
That's rude.
I'm just going through and looking at all my spells.
Okay.
Most of them don't need spell components, I actually.
Oh, so what spell components do you need?
Grasshopper's leg.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm not going to be able to find this. Or I might have to find this rather than buy it. But for identify, I need a pearl worth 100 gold and an owl's feather.
And an owl's feather.
Yeah, ice knife is pretty easy. Just a drop of water or a piece of ice.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, I'm just going through looking at my spells.
Okay.
Most of them
Oh,
are
I think I
just-
get it. Pearls
Huh?
of Wisdom.
I thought it was like a crystal ball thing, but that makes more sense.
I'm just looking up a name real quick. It's fine.
Why are they like this?
Because it's
Oh,
wonderful.
Detect poison and disease, which I get as a racial thing, but that one requires a U leaf. Did I change it to YOU for myself? Just use one of my leaves.
You know what? I'll allow that.
I mean, it would make sense that he had that, or Mazif had that on a planet that got nuked to the Stone Age.
Yes.
Yep.
Alright, I like the name Minarag. Okay. So there is a shopkeep in town. His name is Minarag.
Okay.
We're gonna say this place with the stalls over here is Minarag's shop. It is a general goods sort of a thing. So if you wish to
Awesome.
yes.
Okay.
Um,
I didn't know that I had so few spells component needs, so I'm sorry for taking up this time, everybody.
Oh no, my guy, this is a casual time. This is good. It allows me to build NPCs and explore the world. Hi.
Also, perhaps let me see if they have spell scrolls.
So you go in. So you go into Minarag's shop.
Shuffling like a Triffid.
Shuffling in like a Triffid, brilliantly so. And this shop is full of just the weirdest. Not necessarily the weirdest. This is very clearly a frontier kind of a town. Like if you could almost imagine like a cowboy general store would be in the time of the dinosaurs. Lots of dried goods and parcels and things like that. There's a myriad of different things, and behind the counter stands another mini horn like Bixus and the bartender, whose name I am now making Farron Aron. Farron for friends.
Okay.
Except he has a long singular nose horn and a brilliant little set of horns around the top that reminds you very much of those big fellers you saw that were browsing outside of your first camp before you got sent on the wild trek through the woods and met a dinosaur that made you forget what dinosaurs were.
Mm-hmm.
Fun stuff like that.
That did 8 damage to my 9 HP. That nibbled on me.
I don't know if these were the ones that nibbled on you.
No, the Megalosaurus nibbled on me.
Oh, the Megalosaurus nibbled on you, yes. He wasn't the happiest, to be fair.
Yeah, that's why I did Expeditious Retreat and turned into a tumbleweed and just yeeted myself across the river.
And you see Minarag's like stuffing some stuff and putting some stuff on the back shelf. He's like, hold on, I'm working some inventory. Welcome to Minarag's. How can I help you?
Yes, hello. Voice box crackles.
Okay.
New in town. Quite new to vague vine wiggle in every direction.
Oh, yeah, Gonbarra. That makes
Yes.
sense. Welcome. How fresh are you? Are you like, you have nothing on you kind of a deal? You got some stuff on you? Like, what's the situation?
Washed ashore with some things, not much, but did procure this. Pull out the golden ammonite shell that the raptors were protecting.
Do you pass it to him or you just show him?
Sure, I'll pass it over.
You pass it over and he takes it gently in his hand.
I guess he doesn't do no takebacks.
And he like passes it over in his hand a couple of times, looks at it. I will actually hold it up above his head a little bit, and you notice that even with the setting sun, there is just enough light to help reflect the light off of it, but you're like, not the full thing, but the majority of it, which is how you can tell it's almost time for closing. I was like, well, it's a definitely metallic shell. Ammonites, if I remember my old schooling days. They're a type, and he stops, he's like, do you have oceans where you're from?
Yes, although you don't want to be swimming in them.
That's fair. Most oceans, you don't want to be swimming in them casually. I don't know
I don't
about
swim, I float.
that. I guess you would. Honestly, you'd probably be better off in our oceans. Most of the critters and stuff that would normally eat animal-based folks would think you're just flotsam. Except the turtles, maybe. The turtles are known to eat anything they can get their mouths on, but no worries on those fellers. I'm going to turn scene down just a wee bit. No worries. So, like, what are we needing? Basic supplies? Gear? You seem to be lacking swords, so I'm assuming a magical type?
Yes, and Meziv will hold forward the John Hammond cane with where it's like a spinal column with a chunk of amber at the end. Which I only now realize, from Meziv's point of view, that's like solidified blood. That's petrified blood for a plant person.
I mean, to be fair, it's petrified blood on top of a stick for him, and for Minarag here, that's a cool rock on top of an actual spine.
I mean, Meziv is a necromancer, so gotta cover their bases on the goth.
The cross fees work, and he's like, I see. Are you looking for anything component-wise? I have a few jars back here beneath the counter and stuff, depending on what you're looking for.
Not much. It seems pulls out the book. I did not arrive with my entire supply. I'm forced to rebuild.
Gotcha. That makes more sense.
It is quite embarrassing to say, and part of my vulgarity, I was pruned upon my arrival, it seems.
Okay. Makes sense. Unfortunately, I don't have any scrolls or anything in stock. We tend to be one of those towns where people come and go a lot, so when I get them in, they don't usually sit on the shelf too long. I can get you your components probably, though, because I have people bring me all sorts of things, including that druid. One time he brought in an entire little trilobite from the ocean and was like, I want a piece of jerky. And I'm like, okay. And I took the trilobite, and now his name's Phil, and he lives in that tank over there. And you'll look behind him to the right, and there is a trilobite in a tank.
Fascinating.
So, now, if you are looking for stuff, there's one feller in town that might be able to help you, but he's a bit of an odd case.
Okay.
It only helps when I can read my own handwriting. His name is Entitratire, and that's about what it sounds like. I don't know how to spell it, to be fair, but about yay high, and he puts his hand about 4.5 feet tall, covered in feathers. He's got a big old face beak and a big crest on his head. Best place to catch him would be the pub in the evening, but he's usually tinkering away at something or other, and you might be able to find him there, and he might have something for you. I genuinely never know what he's got. It's always changing.
I believe the rest of my... There's a distinct pause as if buffering. Associates that I washed up on the shore with, I believe they are at the inn.
Oh, you got yourself a little adventuring party, a little crew. That's nice. That's good. You don't want to be traveling out there alone, especially at night. Trust me, not a fun time.
Yes, we made sure to hide during the night, but why are things so friendly here? One of my friends, associates, they have adopted creatures.
Well, I mean, so I don't know where you come from, and I've lived here my whole life, so for me, this is just my average baseline. But
My baseline is up until I washed ashore here. I had never seen the sun unblocked.
And that Minarag pauses and looks to you, and there is a little mix of pity and sad, like a little bit of pity on that. It's like, well, no offense, friend, but your home kind of sucks, especially for a plant. But here,
You are not wrong.
I hope you're enjoying the sun here at the very least. But here in Gonbarra, from what I've been told from other folks who have come from other worlds, the natural, and he's like, natural ecosystems, air quotations around that, here are almost 3 to 4 times as biologically dense as other places. So the actions of acting out in kindness can affect animals a little bit more personably than in other places, from what I've been told. Now, I only hear what comes in my shop, so.
Fascinating.
If you don't mind me asking, what little friends has your companion befriended?
One of the beach dodos, and describe the other child. It was an ankylosaur of some kind.
Skittlesaurus, my baby.
Skittlesaurus.
Oh, he's like, oh, no, okay, that makes more sense. The beat dodos, especially mainland ones, if you show them any kind of kindness, they follow you around for, like, hours. They're a pretty common domesticated animal in most of the cities. I'm pretty sure if you go up to the vertical farm on the rim on the left, they have an entire rookery that is just different flavors of dodo.
Interesting.
The Skittlesaurs are unusual in their nature. They are really easy to befriend and tame.
It literally walked up to us and seemed to beg for food.
They do that to everyone. They're so thick armored. It's like I haven't seen or fought a dragon, but I've heard it's like their armor's almost as strong as a dragon's. So most things can't physically hurt it, so it doesn't have a fear response as much to other things.
Yeah. Maziv's little flower faces nodding as they're thinking, and they were adopted by a dragon.
But yeah,
So I did look it up, Gray. A component pouch, which is just like the player's handbook thing that lets you have just components. 25 gold. I don't have that, so I'm gonna. Well, actually, I do have that, but I don't want to spend that much. That's most of what I have.
Minarek will
Actually-
actually just reach behind the counter and put it on there. It's like, trust me, friend. Most places here in Gonbarra thrive off of being kind to one another over violence and anger. There's already enough things out there wanting to eat you, let alone each other.
Oh, did he pass back the shell? The
Yes,
fossil?
he did.
Okay. Okay. Dumb question. I don't want to take up too much time, but does he have like any flower, potted plants around?
There's a few, yeah.
Ms. Eve will just kind of taking it, going, this might be a simple trade, and we'll point at some of them that if they recognize them being as like medicinal or something, will kind of cause them to flourish with using druidcraft.
Okay.
Just, it's supposed to help like things bloom faster or seed pods appear. So just give them a little boost.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. I was like, oh, thank you. And don't worry about repaying me back for that component bag anytime soon. I understand, especially when you wash up, you don't get a whole lot of nothing. So
I appreciate it, and I will tell of the store to my associates in case they have their own purchases to be made.
thank you. We'll be closing up here about an hour or so, and then I'll be in the tavern. So
Perhaps see you there.
perhaps see you there.
Shuffle on out.
Okie dokie.
And I guess rejoin. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. We will use the segue to go to my one of everyone's favorite clerics, Alex. Fi. The bartender Fenric puts a mug in your hands. It is warm in your hands, almost hot, but not too hot to hold it. It is a dark brown liquid, almost black in coloration, with a small wisp of steam billowing off. It goes, here you go. As a heads up, most people will drink this as a morning wake up. It is later in the evening, so you might just want to take it easy and sip it. And I'm using the same accent, but it's fine.
It's the regional accent. It's fine. He immediately accepts the mug, and then he just kind of stares at it and cocks his head like a little bit confused. And there's just a very long silence.
Dude.
Before his ears perk up and he goes, "Oh, I understand." He sets it on the table next to the nearest table and starts setting up his little, portable shrine. It's like, in whose name would you like to make this offering?
It's a drink for you. you were curious about the coffee, that is a coffee.
I mean, Fi didn't say anything about coffee. He
You seemed
looks
like you could use it,
confused.
sorry.
He seems confused again, and his ears kind of pin back a little bit, and he's like, "Perhaps there has been a confusion. I am not that kind of celestial."
Now you got me confused, because I thought you were going to drink the drink. Someone said you wanted the coffee? Maybe I was confused. On the house anyway, why not?
To offered to. I do not accept offerings. Who is?
It's a gift, not an offering technically. You can drink it for fun.
I do not drink.
You don't? And the bartender's gonna look to the rest of you. They don't? You don't drink? Anything?
Medicine when strictly necessary, but no.
Looks back to the motley of characters who are all sitting at the bar, like, not the weirdest thing I've heard. You've got a walking plant with you. So you drink that.
Is this after Maziv showed up?
Oh, I'm thinking this is starting after you have gone out to get your supplies.
Okay.
My goal is to have Maziv pop back in once the coffee has been consumed.
Good luck.
We're gonna
He's
try.
very confused.
So you take the cup with the liquid, and you sip it slowly because it's hot, and you swallow it, and you enjoy the taste and the warmth of it.
Does medicine taste good in this world?
It's not a medicine.
Then why?
It's a drink. Like, gestures to the crew of party who have their own assortment of beverages. I'm assuming the way you're talking and you said celestial, you're probably an immortal of some sort. So most mortals have to drink liquids to survive. But we also have made a variety of beverages of different tastes and qualities to enjoy. For fun.
It is nice to try new drinks. You should go for it.
Okay. He'll like take a tiny little cup and scoop a small amount of the coffee out and just like put it on the shrine. And then,
That's fair.
sniff at it.
It's got an earthy kind of a smell to it. Not unpleasantly so.
Like very, very slowly sticks his tongue into it.
So it's bitter in the way that coffee is bitter. As in, it's not too much, and it's not like the Folgers, artificially chemically processed stuff. It's like a hand roasted, probably honestly hand ground coffee that's been slowly dripped into a metal pan, a metal pot. So it has maybe a slight tinge of metal to it, but it's got a fairly lighter taste than the almost pitch black drink would have in theory.
See, I hate all coffee, so this is
You can hate the coffee in character too. That's fine.
I think he just like he like holds his tongue in there and isn't actually drinking it. It's just like eyes slowly narrowing, not sure what to make of this sensation. It's not as bitter as medicines, so I guess in that regard it's probably the best thing he's ever tasted. But it's also still bitter and weird and hot.
Varying sighs, goes over, grabs another mug, pours himself a cup, stands in front of you, because in his eyes, this is one of the biggest insults to a bartender you can do is, how do I drink? I've worked in that.
I can't let you exist this way.
I can't let you exist this way. It's like, all right, you're gonna follow me. So you take the cup, like this, to get your tongue out of it.
I'm in possession of the cup.
You raise it to your lips, and you pour it back slowly, just enough to get a small mouthful. And he does the action, and then he swallows it, and is like, and then you swallow it, and you've had a sip of coffee.
He sips the coffee?
It is a really good cup of coffee. Like, I would say, like, if you went to a small local cafe that was hand grounding stuff, and they had a fairly decent good coffee there, it'd be that level of coffee. So it's better than your Starbucks, it's better than Folgers, it's better than the instant crap, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I will not tell you if you were like coffee or not. That is up to you.
Perhaps I should have asked before I ingested this. What is the intended effect?
So a lot of people like to drink it in the morning. It's got a high amount of caffeine in it. And that allows, which is a thing the plant makes, I think, to deter insects and things, because they drink caffeine and, but, like, bigger things don't die from caffeine, and it gives them a boost of energy. If you like, I have some things to mix in it if you want to experiment with that. Every person likes their coffee different, and he has this look of, I've memorized everybody's in town's coffee because they keep on asking me to make them coffee first thing in the morning when I am not awake enough for it. But, yeah. You drink it, it gives you a little boost, and you have a good day.
I am always having a good day. But I shall take your lead, purveyor of coffee.
It's Ferenc. You can just call me Ferenc.
Ferenc, purveyor of coffee.
From the world I was on, the historical databank said they were known as baristas, Nazeeb says as they shuffle in.
I'm bartender, so I guess that would make sense. I don't know what the Easter part is.
Records were not clear.
Fair enough. Anyone need refills, top offs on drinks, things of that nature?
Water.
Okay. Puts a glass of water for you, Nazeeb.
Just dips a root into it and just sits there.
So what are the rest of you drinking? I'm curious.
I also got water, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. You go.
Remember.
You could make up something on the spot right now. I don't remember either, so...
Was it something with olives in it?
No,
Did you get a martini in the middle of the day?
Yeah, right.
we did have a conversation about olives because Ferenc didn't know what an olive was.
Which was probably an offense to the two Mediterranean themed characters.
Right.
But yeah, so whatever you guys want to be drinking, you can. It makes sense in Yarnok's situation to be water because water was like gold back home. And they're just.
Also, he's never had anything else and doesn't know that that's an option.
This is also entirely true. So I guess we'll go down the line. Hey, Agalma, are you drinking anything for fun?
Yes. Wine.
And he's like, I like your thinking. I've got. Or do you have a particular vintage you like? You wouldn't know my vintages anyway. You're from out of world. How
Yes.
much of a hangover do you want? Can you get hangovers? This is a question for later in the evening. Let's see. I got a bunch of different ones here. I've got desert wines.
We drink a lot. I'm not picky.
Oh, fair enough. Let's see. I got a couple of different options. We'll probably start you off on Guildhorn wine. It's a good starting one, especially for a long evening. Pretty standard stuff. We make it from cycad fruit. Fermented
From
over
what?
cycad fruit. So if you go out in the wilds and you find these big giant fern leaf bushes taller than you are, and they have these big red things in the middle, that's a cycad. And the big red thing in the middle is a cycad fruit. And we get them at certain different species, have them ripen at different times. So Guildhorn wine tends to be a generic blend of different ones depending on the year, time of year it was bottled and vintaged. Out of character, it's got a slightly more herbal taste, but still it's wine. Yeah, those little pine cone things. They're like pineapples. So, this is kind of just standard fare, and he pours you a glass. He doesn't have fancy wine glasses or anything like that, so it's literally a mug, just almost to the top with wine. It's like, here you go.
Fantastic. You're the best.
Well, appreciates that. Let's see, who else? How about the big dragon feller? Looks like he's happy with his water. How about you, fella? Looking at Louderman.
Oh, well, it has been a while since I've really, after everything we've been through, everything before that, if wine's an option, I think I should go for it too. Yeah, I deserve that, right?
Sure. I mean, how long were you guys out in the woods?
2 days, I believe.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And stuff before that, of course, too.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, that makes sense. Given that you're all individuals, probably means you didn't come from great times for you. Yeah, so here you go. And he puts down a regular sized person mug filled just like Agalma's was, which is pretty big for you. And he's like,
Portion.
and I was like, it's about a middle of the road wine, not too strong, not too weak. If you want something stronger, let me know. If you need something less, let me know.
Thank you very much. You know, Agolma, I'm surprised that you have a taste for wine.
Why?
Well, I mean, you're not flesh and blood like me, are you?
No, we're carved from stone, but like we really like to drink and party. So
I won't even make you roll for it. You do vaguely recall that the Kore were known for having absolute ragers because they didn't have to eat, drink, or sleep. So all of their stuff became like infinitely weirder and like oddly refined because they could casually for fun.
They knew how to rock out.
They knew how to rock out.
Rock and roll. Oh, I've got nuggies. Hold on.
Nuggies.
I guess I didn't consider that. Wow.
Yodok!
You don't get hangovers either?
oh no, we do.
Oh,
But that's like half the fun. So
Yeah, I suppose so.
what does a stone hangover seem like? What is that affecting?
Yeah, I just had that same thought. Like, Maziv scientists going, do they have stone livers?
Mm-hmm.
Is it like a filter like hummus?
Aha. Science is going on here today.
Something's going on.
Something is going on for sure.
Oh, I do remember what Maziv ordered for booze last time. It was vinegar, acetic acid.
Right, I remember that because it was like
It has the same effect as alcohol as booze, on the plant person.
All right, do you want a vinegar with your water?
Yes.
Okay. I got some vinegar, and he picks up a jug from beneath the counter that very clearly says cleaning, and with the distinct acrid scent of vinegar, starts to pour it into a cup and passes it.
Yes. At the research lab, it was much easier for me to get inebriated than the mammals. They didn't keep the cleaning supplies under lock and key.
Fair enough.
Yarnok's like ear flaps are like going up and down, and he's sniffing at everybody else's cups and just making this weird face. Like, why the hell would you? Why?
Oh. Sorry. Aziz would know their name. What's the bartender's name? I forgot already.
Ferenc.
Ferenc. Ferenc, perhaps Yarnock would enjoy a juice of some kind.
Yeah, I got some juice. So, Yarnock, you want something with a big bit of kick, or you just want something sweet?
There was the blankest look on his face.
Oh my god.
Didn't last time Yarnock say water is free? And it's this clear?
Yeah, pretty much.
And it was just like, oh my god, like half of you came from such fucked up places, didn't you? And he just like reaches, he reaches behind the counter, and there is the magical equivalent of a refrigerator being a cold box with runes carved onto it. If you take a look, it says ice. And he opens it, and he pulls out a jug, and he pours you Yarnock, a glass of pineapple juice. And he puts it down in front of you. He's like, here you go.
Again, the ear flaps are just kind of going up and down, like, what the f is this shit?
It's a juice. It's like water, but sweet.
eat your clothes now.
Sweet.
Yes.
What is that?
Try
Drink
and
it.
you'll find out.
It's a taste. So meat has a taste of umami, which is probably presumptuous of him, assuming that you're not eating meat. But you also have like the gnarliest fangs out of everybody, so it's a safe bet. There is umami taste. There is sweet. There is sour. There is bitter. There is.
When you say bitter, points at the coffee.
Yarnock, have you partaken of the coffee?
Hmm.
He's cautiously reaching out to grab the pineapple juice. And he's gonna sip it, and you're gonna watch his face brighten up like he's a 5-year-old.
Oh.
And like his feet can't kick like a 5-year-old, like he's sitting on a counter, but you can tell that he wants to.
This is the tail wagging.
Yes.
It's good.
And he finishes and he puts the glass down. And he's happy that he had it, but now he's sad it's gone.
And he puts the glass down, and Fairink reaches back behind the counter, and he pulls out a different jug, and he pours out what is the equivalent of a pomegranate juice, and pours it in. He's like, try this one.
It gets the same reaction, but, since pomegranate juice is a little more sour, he pauses when he first sips, and he goes, tastes it a little bit. Then he decides that he likes it, and the same reaction happens.
Y'all are some of the most interesting customers I've had in a long while. In a good way.
He stops before he's done all the way, and he offers his glass to Fi because he noticed that he didn't like the coffee.
Ah. What is this?
Juice.
It's a pomegranate, right?
Yeah.
Pomegranate juice.
It's like a pomegranate.
Ms. Eve probably wouldn't know this, but there's, mine is also Mediterranean themed, right?
Yeah, roughly.
So we could bring up the whole, the pomegranate fruit of the underworld thing.
He's like, I like this, maybe you'll like this. You don't like the coffee, so...
I've been to the underworld many times. I have not seen juice. It's not blood, is it?
No, it's not blood. Well,
Ms. Eve eye stalk
Sort-
flips over.
sort of. It is pulp.
It is
and
fine. I am the one who suggested it.
That's fair. It's kind of it's the mixture of juices from a fruit, like a pomegranate. This is pomegranate juice, which is fun for the Greek theme ones. Like, how do they have pomegranates but not olives?
Fi will start to just try to stick his tongue into the glass. Remember, no, they don't want me to do that. Take a tentative sip.
This is pomegranate.
It is. Words. Unmedicine.
So it's sweet with a tinge of sour is how we like to put it.
Sweet.
Just starts quietly pouring more wine for the two people who wanted wine. And while you all are enjoying your drinks, I'll take a second to go through some of the people who are now filtering in the bar and who have been in the bar with you this whole time. One of them may or may not be Sam Reich, but we're not going to worry about that.
I was restraining myself from making that joke.
Don't. I'm already doing it. So, as the night goes on and people come in, and you see some of the shops outside turn off their lights. For you, Miss Eve, you recognize Minorak when he comes in. He waves to you, and he stops and looks at the rest of your crew, and he's like, gives you a knowing nod, and just grabs a table with some other many horns. Some of the people who were guards off shift, other travelers, etc.
Ms. Eve will point them out. Goes, that was the merchant I spoke to earlier. If you need supplies, or if we need supplies later. Seemed a good supply. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, you're good. Jabara will eventually filter in the little ornithopod lady who helped check your pets in. But she doesn't stay too terribly long. For people who are already in the room, for lack of a better... I could physically describe an oviraptor, but pretty much there's been this oviraptor guy, and he's been sitting in this like mixture of a dog bed and a bird bed near the fireplace, and his hands have not stopped moving since you've seen him. He's tinkering away at something that's going a mile a minute. And then there's, and the back table, as of last time, there was these two looking dudes who kind of look like bigger versions of the raptors you dealt with, but where the raptors are like small little guys, these are like people sized. And they have a couple of maps out on the table, a couple of drinks. They're chilling out. There's one person in particular that stands out amongst the ground dwelling folks. Mostly because he's armored as all get out. And you think at first, like, oh, that's a really good armor set. I don't even know if I have a picture of the Ankylier. I have it up here in their section. This is the one I am specifically thinking of, so we will post it in the general chat for the people here. For our viewers who are listening to this later on, this is an Ankylosaurus man, for lack of a better descriptor. He's got a mixture of metal armor that matches with his own bony armor. He's got, in particular, this gentleman has tinges of soot tucked into corners and things, and he's grabbed a drink and he's sitting at a different end of this bar. At this point, Night Faring's kind of bouncing back more and forth between people. And then from up above, there are some people who are coming down. They're fairly interesting looking. You haven't interacted with any of these people yet. They have long beaked heads with these magnificent crests coming off of them. And wings for... They have wings, but instead of having like wings on their back, like you may be familiar with Fi with interacting with Celestials, their wings actually come off of a finger off of their hand. And they have these long arms. And one in particular seems to have some sort of musical instrument and is setting up in a corner on ground level like they're going to perform. And the way their head with the crest looks, it almost looks like a small sail from a small sailing boat. So there are a lot of people in here now. And a variety of assortments of others that you'll want to talk to and I'll have to come up with.
Popular location.
Well, I mean, it is the one tavern in town.
Guess that makes sense, but still a rather lively night. Are most nights like this?
When Farron comes back over and you ask that, and he's like, on and off. This is a fairly middle of the road. We don't have a whole lot of travelers in town right now, so we don't have a lot of outside crews. We got the Pluven over there, who have been planning on doing a small hunt of some sort. If you're looking for a little extra work and want to get outside and dirty, they might be a good one to talk to. It does look like Vargrella's gonna set up to perform. She's a really good bard if you ever get the chance to listen to her. Though she tends to perform more in Archosauric, and I don't know if any of you speak that language, but it's still pretty to listen to. And she speaks in common and things, so you can always just ask her later on if you want. Yeah, it's about middle of the road. We've had a couple of nights where we've filled out both the inside and the outside decks up above. We have some patios up there if you need some fresh air. And if you're wanting something a little more private than the bar, feel free to take one of the open booths. If you need food, just let me know.
Thank you very much. Oh, I look forward to hearing this music. It's really been a long time.
What do I want her to play? Yep. So yeah, if you want to go poke people, you can poke people. If you want to go get a booth with the hyperactive Celestial dealing with their first caffeine craze, you're more than welcome to. It's up to you guys.
The Tinker. Sorry, I should have paid more attention, but they were pointed out to me by Finnerak, right?
Yes.
Finnerak?
That would be Entitatum. Entitatum. Entitate? It's Latin.
Okay.
And he is so very clearly just lost in his sauce. He has some sort of mechanical thing in his hand that he's tweaking and twisting, a myriad of strange patterns and stone that almost seems to move like metal pipes.
So this is the first bit of like technology that's been seen, right? Or more advanced.
This is the closest thing you've seen to technology, though it's almost like looking at a work of H.R. Geiger in his hands. In the way that it's familiar yet unfamiliar. Not in the sense of it's horny as all get out. Because H.R. Geiger's are so fucking horny.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Don't let me take over.
Oh, go ahead. You got
No,
an idea.
Ms. No, Ms. Not, I didn't really. I was just trying to remember because they were pointed out to me when I talked to the merchant. But Ms. Evil also pointed them out because I believe they are a tinkerer of some sort. They were mentioned by the other merchant I spoke with.
What do you imagine he's tinkering with?
I am not sure, but can't really squint as a plant. But that's kind of like the eye stalks kind of like leaning in a little bit closer in their direction. They seem quite quite focused. Not sure if they would appreciate an interruption at the moment.
But they did choose to come to a bar, though, to do this, so maybe they are open to it, you know?
Do you want to join me in speaking with them, or?
Sure, I'll go with you.
Okay.
Oh,
I
I've
shuffle on over there.
thank you. I've been so excited to do this. Um, so you approach the Oviraptor-looking one, and the closer you get, the more you realize that this isn't like the other people who seem to have adapted and evolved, either magically enhanced or biologically from earlier species. This looks like this is just an Oviraptor who's been let into the building.
Dinotopia type.
Dinotopia type is a wonderful way to put it. It's very Dinotopia type. He's got a myriad of orange and white feathers for some reason. And his beak, while it's very clearly connected with his head crest up above, kind of leans down. It's almost shaped similarly to Yarnock's dodo companion. Just a little bit. And there's a spray of feathers that pops up just behind the crest. And he's just tinkering away at this as you two approach. And he doesn't really say anything as you guys come up closer, just kind of tinkering away with what looks like some sort of creation. For lack of a better term.
Sorry. Maziv didn't do that. Maziv goes, pardon us.
And he kind of like turns his head to you and gives you a stare not unreminiscent of an angry goose stare. Though you can't tell if that's just his face or if that's how he's feeling. And he goes, yes? Oh, you are not the normal people who bother me. Who are you?
No, we are the new people who are bothering you, Maziv says from the voice box implanted in their trunk. Gestures. I am Maziv. This is gestures to Latigan.
Hi, I'm Latiman.
And it looks back and forth between you two, particularly focusing a little bit on the voice box that you're communicating through. It's like, you seem like interesting people. Very interesting people. And its eyes squint a little bit and like leans its head in. Once again, a little too uncomfortably like a goose, especially for you, Lottaman, who's had to deal with feral geese populations on your island.
Oh, they must be even more intimidating since they're about as big as you. Tall as you.
And he leans in and he's like, what does the dice say? I am curious. Ah, fantastic. Love to see it when that happens.
It's gonna dissect me.
He's not going to dissect you. He's like, okay, you're new people. And you haven't done anything to make me angry. And you've already come and talked to me. It's a little bolder than most people are. A lot of these people have seen me get mad. And I'm not really I don't get mad. Like, I get angry. But, like, not, like, aggressive angry sometimes. So you guys have approached. That means you're alright. I like you. Okay, what's up?
Sorry, go ahead.
My friend here is something of a scientist from his world, and well, he noticed you tinkering over here and thought that maybe you two have a mutual love of science.
He turns his head to you. A scientist? What kind of scientist? Because you look like you're the kind of scientist who does projects, like fun projects.
My specialty was necrobiology, but Unfortunately, I've lost much of my research materials and equipment upon arrival here, so I am forced to begin from the beginning.
Ah. Sometimes it's good for when you're working on a new project or thesis, though. It allows you to have a new perspective, get a better grasp on things, especially if it's a change of setting, too. Um, hmm, hmm, hmm.
I do enjoy the weather here.
Yes. This is a good spot for weather. We don't get too many storms. And he like looks at you like, you might like the south a little better. It gets less rain, more sun, and you feel like a desert plant to me. Something hardy that thrives under difficult conditions.
I would have withered away if that was not true.
Good. And you need things, supplies, I assume.
Eventually, as you may guess, my funds did not also transfer with me.
Did your projects transfer with you?
No.
You don't have your projects. Oh.
And actually kind of glance over at Flat, and I'd just be... I followed what seemed to be an apparition of a creature, and then I was waking up on the shore.
A ghost creature. Ooh. Interesting. Very interesting. There are many tales of such things here. You might be able to find what you were looking for. There's all sorts of weird things that go bump in the night out there, of course. But I can also see you don't have your supplies, and with only one goal, that's not going to get you very far. And you look like you're on a quest. That feels a little typecasty, but you're on a quest. He points to you, Latimer.
Now you see a hobbit, it's like, oh, you must be on a quest.
Yes, you could say something like that.
Good. Oh, go ahead.
I'm researching medicine, you see. That's where I came from. That's what I was doing.
Oh, you're a scientist too. You should have said something. I would have been a little more inclusive. I feel sorry about that. You will need things, and I am a person who goes around and finds things. And he sets this project down, and you get a good look at it, and especially for you, Ms. Eve, you recognize the vague form of a trilobite, but they don't normally have that many tubes, and you're pretty sure that doesn't go that deep, and that's pretty deep for tubes. Tubes and pistons and connections, and it looks like it's a half-built robot trilobite is a good way to think of it. Okay, I think I know what I need to do. You guys are scientists. You are researchers. You are looking for medicines. You are looking for necrobiology and undead monsters. Which, by the way, I dabbled in that for a little while. That was really good. I have some things, but I can't just part with my things. They're my things. They have to be traded. This is a me thing. This is just how it works. So I'll tell you what. Currently, I am collecting feathers. Feathers of all sorts and varieties from birds. Not dinosaurs with feathers, birds. There's a difference. So if you can bring me some feathers from some birds, I will get you things. I will help you with your projects if you help me with mine.
Look over at my friend. Did we collect any of the feathers from the raptors that we disturbed?
He said not dinosaurs, though.
Oh.
I am specifically going for avian birds.
We do have a dodo that is in the stables.
What kind of dodo?
There's different kinds?
Yes.
It
27.
found us on the beach and then followed us.
Ooh, wild coastal dodo. I don't know if I have one of those. I've been meaning to get out there, but I've been busy. There are 27 domestic varieties and at least 6 wild varieties. The thought process was they were rescued by one god closer to the beginning of Gonbarra, and despite them being ground-dwelling birds from an island, potentially from an island ecosystem, or wherever they came from the multiverse, and with all the theropods and meat eaters and who knows what's out there, they have thrived.
Well, we'll have to check with one of our friends to make sure it's okay to take the feathers, but yeah, I think we'd be happy to assist you.
Excellent. Now, if you're looking for more feathers, he's going to point a hand over towards where the scary-looking Pluven guys are still plotting out. They're going on a hunt, and they would be good ones to go with, or call it a gut intuition, but I think that one over there, and he points to someone you hadn't noticed before, and goes, that one over there, you might be able to get something really good. Call it a gut hunch. Bring me feathers and I will give you things.
Where are they pointing at in the corner?
So, this person, you didn't notice come in, and you blink for a second because it looks like they have antlers growing out of their head. But the more you look at them, it turns out to be a headdress of some variety. They look strangely like a mixture of what's her name, Jabara, the kind, and the Pluven, and that they occupy a weird sort of a place, physically speaking. Here, I'm just going to post the picture because Lemosaurus as a dinosaur is already fucking weird. They have a beak, but teeth, clawed feet. They're the most simply dressed of them all. Instead of being woven clothes or camping gear, things like that, it's almost like pelts. And they sit at a small table in the back with a large sack in the booth next to them. If you follow them, you should be able to get good feathers, and I can get you good things. But only if I get the feathers.
Can you tell us more about them?
The things, the feathers, or the people?
Them, the person you pointed out.
I don't know. They came in about an hour ago when you guys were going nuts over the juice. Hour being roughly, we're playing loosey-goosey with the timeline here. And it's a hunch, but they're doing something important. You don't carry a sack that big if you're not doing something important. And it's not a person in the sack because they wouldn't be sitting in a bar or a tavern with that sack. Or maybe they're doing laundry. I don't know.
I'm sorry, I'm a child because I'm trying not to laugh. Anyways,
You can laugh. I'm not going. You can.
No, it's Mazeev wouldn't laugh because Mazeev wouldn't get the humor of someone hauling around a giant sack. All right. Sorry.
But yes, this is the GM subtly not subtling hinting to you, hey, there's some side quests available.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, that is good information, thank you. We'll bring it to our rest of us and decide where to go from there.
Yes. I will be in town for 3 or 4 more days, and then I will hit the road. I don't stay in anywhere too long.
Out of character, did we get his name?
He has not given you his name.
Oh.
Thank you very much. But hold on, I don't think we caught your name.
Oh, right. Names. Things. Right. Entitern is my name. But I got a whole bunch of different nicknames. You will probably find one for me. Revolving around T.
What was it? Sorry, say that
Can
again.
you spell that out for us?
Oh, I'm going to spell it out because I keep on butchering it every time I try to say it. Entire turn. Entitaturn. But most of my friends come up with a funky nickname for me because it's hard to pronounce.
That is a. I'm sorry, out of character. I'm not going to make fun of him to his face, but that is a tongue twister of a name.
It is a direct translation of Latin. It's a joke for me and somebody else. Entitaturn. Some people call me the Tinkerer, the Joking Tinkerer, Tinkerer Joker, TJ, a couple other things. You can go, hey you, and I'm usually the guy who answers. So, come find me once you have feathers, and I will give you many things.
Well, thank you.
Yes. Now back to my project, and he like picks up the thing and he shoves his hands into it and just like starts tearing and rewiring things.
Wait, did he just? Is his name just Entity? I'm trying to.
You blew the case wide open.
No, I was.
So I was wanting to put a tinkerer in, and I had a fun idea, and I based it off of my roommate, whose nickname is the Entity. So when you listen to this, TJ, I butchered your characterization on purpose so they can't find you. Oh, hello, cat. How are you?
She's obnoxious.
I mean, I do enjoy me a good obnoxious cat. So you have, so you have some more names, some more people. Someone I forgot to introduce in the first round, but it's fine. It's fine.
We go back and inform the rest of the group about this. There's the Pluvins going on the hunt. There's the dinosaur person in the corner. We didn't get a name, right?
He did not give you a name for them.
And we have the bounty for feathers. Those were the three that were potential leads. Was there another one that I'm missing?
Nope, that's pretty much everything you got right now. So yeah, you can go talk to some people, you can figure out some things, you could go to sleep, you could go talk to each other. It's up to you guys. Hoo-ha.
I would probably be good at talking to the Pluvins. Joining the hunt.
Yarnhawk's just sitting here at the bar enjoying himself. He's watching other people, but he's like, all these people are weird. That is all that's going through his head right now.
This is fair. One of those weird people in particular, the winged one that has the instruments, begins to play a bit of a sad song. on her stringed instrument she has. Is this an excuse to play random music in the background? Maybe.
It's diegetic. Don't worry about it.
We're not worried about it. It's perfectly fine. So yeah.
I think Phi is with his introduction to caffeine. Kind of sitting, just sitting, chilling. For the most part, seems unaffected, but his hands are jittering.
Which means you're in hyperdrive, aren't you?
Maybe a little.
So, Fido, Archon of the Things, you have a nose better than most beings will ever have in their lives. And you've got a knack for being experienced in celestial events.
Oh no.
So your nose catches a whiff of something strange yet familiar. A mixture of bone and God.
Alright. The chill that Phi has been maintaining despite the caffeine, the illusion is shattered because he starts just like almost more bird-like than dog-like, just like, God, I don't know how to describe the movement, like poking his nose in different directions, rapidly turning his head, trying to like pinpoint the smell. Like jump to a position, sniff, sniff, jump, sniff, sniff, jump, sniff, sniff.
Yep. And eventually your nose catches onto it, back to that one dinosaur person they pointed in the back, and a bag of something next to them. And it's...
Yeah, he'll hobble over and just like start sniffing the bag.
You start to hobble over, and as you do, we're gonna say the song stops and they begin to perform another one, because I forgot how fucking depressing that song was. That's my bad, everybody. But it would also be
not a very good bar vibe, is it?
No, it's not.
The wrong kind of bar.
No, this is the wrong song. Hold on. This is the right song.
Uh-oh.
It's fine. You wouldn't know it in character. This is just me messing with you.
Yeah.
And you make your way over to this person. As you're like, your eyes are probably on the bag, but you kind of can tell that the person next to it is almost there kind of solemnly, in a sense of reverence and mourning, kind of just sitting there with a plate of slowly cooling food, and their head raises to you and blinks in surprise at your appearance, and they go, hello? Can I help you?
Why does your bag smell of the heavens and of rot?
They blink at that, caught off guard clearly, and she goes, and like puts a hand out to kind of almost hold the bag in almost a defensive way, but also just kind of a, that depends on what you want with the bag.
I desire to know what's in it, what's in it, what's in it, what's in it, what's in it.
And seeing hyperactive dog person, and it's catching the eyes of a couple other people. It's like, sit down, don't cause a scene, please. It's already hard enough. And there's room at the booth if you want to sit, or you can still be hyperactive at the table. If you sit, you'll in theory be closer to sniffing out what's in the bag. So
Yeah, he's been invited to sit. He will sit.
okay, you sit down and it's like, my name is Newick. Did I give the... And I am the last cleric of Srath. And she gestures with a hand on the bag, and this is what is left of Srath. I am here in the area to inter him.
I do not understand.
I have the bones of my god that I am trying to bury.
He's like visibly confused. Still has not grasped the concept that a god can die.
This is just for flavor, but when those words were said, there's now Nazeev Eyestock just focused. Why did it just bite me? Where did that fucking come from?
It came from the game. He escaped from last session. He wants revenge.
He longs for blood.
Yes. And privately to you, Fi, Newek will lower the bag so you can and open it. And as soon as she opens it, you are hit in the nose of very clearly the scent of a dead god. And you can almost tell it wasn't as strong or big of a god as some of the ones you've helped study and worship and record that your people worked with. This is very clearly probably a minor god of some sort, but that is very clearly dead remains. And Newick cinches the bag shut and goes, I am heading to our traditional burial site of our gods to inter him.
This... You must be mistaken. This does not make sense.
This is fairly somewhat common here.
But a god cannot die. They are...
Oh. Okay, I think I understand a little bit. You're Outer-Worlder, right? I'm assuming I've not met any other dog people with wings?
He doesn't have wings.
Oh, he doesn't have wings. That's just regular Archon, sorry. I've not met many other dog people, jackal people. I've never met anyone else like you.
You are correct.
And so that would probably lean to indicate you've never met anyone like me before.
Yeah, what kind of being is this again?
Out of character, this is a Lemukin. It's a dinosaur person. In character, this person doesn't look like anybody else in this building. This one's new.
Then he will nod affirmation.
My people tend to worship different beings of nature as locuses, and we focus on the world itself. Our spirituality is tied into Gonbarra herself, with different creatures being the aspects that we call gods. This was Srath. Srath was one of the longest lived for my tribe. I come from a long ways away from the tall cedar forests where trees reach taller than mountains. To the north of here. Sorry, I was trying to remember where that part of the map was. But I have come down here to inter the remains of Srath as the last cleric of Srath. For the others, have already moved on to more traditional forms of worship and are searching for a new avatar of Gonbarra herself.
Oh. I believe I understand. So not a true god.
No, it's a true god in the sense of a clerical sense. We had an order. They died.
Well, but you said it yourself. This is merely an avatar. It is not.
Oh, so gods grow like plants. And this person says it straight face to you.
What?
Gods grow with worship. You give them time and energy. They grow big and strong, and then things happen, and they stop growing, and they weaken and fall. It is the cycle of everything, from the tree to the person to the god.
They do not grow. They are the growers of everything.
Then where did the gods come from? Everything comes from something.
Not them. They simply are. To fall and to die is the imperfection of the creation, not the creator.
But can a creator exist? See, you have to forgive me. I don't know how your gods work. I don't understand how their gods work. And he just, gestures to the room. That doesn't make sense to me over there. But from what I know, can a god exist if a people chooses to ignore it? If it is not worshipped, if it is not divinely supplemented, does it exist? Can it still survive, or does it die? For there are lands of people here older than us than Limuken, older than the Pluven, older than the Enkaileir, whose bones littered the civilization. Did they not have gods? Where are their gods if their people are not here? In any case, I am aiming to inter the remains of my god here, who I worshipped in life from birth till its death. And I am, unfortunately, a bit still in mourning. So, is there anything else I can help you with? Unless if you would like to come see one of the best places to find the remains of dead gods.
Not really, but I suppose it would be interesting to observe the burial practices of another world, another culture.
Well, I will leave first thing in the morning. It's not a terribly long trek, but it is still enough with the rituals that I would like to get it done before the sun is too high in the sky.
Certainly, I would be honored to accompany you.
Excellent. You are more than welcome to. And along with your friends, I have been noticing you have an interesting crew with you. Is that one a plant?
Yes.
And it is staring. Right at the two of you.
I think they like you.
I eat plants, though. I suppose that doesn't really mean anything. You also that one's a statue. Are they cursed?
I do not believe so. I'm mostly certain that that is her natural state.
Huh. And what about you? You have a keen nose for the divine. Are you too a cleric?
Yes.
Which god do you follow, if I may ask?
Yes.
Pantheistic cleric.
Exactly.
Pantheistic cleric. Ah. That doesn't answer anything, but okay.
I am a keeper of the lore and will of all our gods.
Would you like to learn about Srath, I suppose? If you wanted to. No
Okay.
pressure.
He'll take out like a little notebook and get ready to. He'll like try not to quite let them see because it might be a little bit hurtful and they're mourning. Letterhead the top of the page for false god Srath.
False god Srath. Oh, that's gonna be fun when you get there. So to paraphrase it a little bit, instead of telling it in character, Anuek will talk about Srath having been born from a storm in the forest itself. And from your perspective, it does sound a lot like an avatar being born in the sense. For they describe these long-necked, tall creatures similar to the ones that one you saw before you came into the village, becoming consumed by the storm of maybe arcane or divine energy, and personifying as Srath, god of the rains and the treetops and the realms above us all. And there's several little different stories about how Srath fended off massive predators. Another name pops up that catches your eye, and I'm going to put it here in the chat. Herergar, the Gnawing Hunger. If you ask, that she mentions this is a dark god, a malevolent one whose hunger is satiated. There is another tribe of Limukin who worship it, but are not part of her own. And then after a while, she tells you about the fall of Srath. And it came in the sense of a massive storm. As it had been born, it died, but it helped save not only the Limukin but it was probably its original herd of sauropods, and took 4 trees that stretched allegedly taller than mountains, crushing it. And these bones in the bag, which you're more familiar with magical things, you can sense the bag itself is probably more of a bag of holding than an actual physical burlap sack, because the bones in there are massive, these massive vertebrae that are like probably 6 feet around. Have you ever seen a sauropod's bones? Yeah. And she's going to inter him in one of the vaults of the gods. There are several across the land that different tribes of Limukin will use. Various spots have different meanings. This one is used for those who perish of either quote-unquote natural reasons, as in the natural world takes them out, or if Gonbarra itself eliminates them, or in the sense of old age, but that can't be right.
Yeah, that can't be right.
Which is what you're
See,
thinking.
this is why it's a false god, because real gods don't age, much less die. Come on. This is basic, come on.
There's Eve trying not to think about the literal dead gods fall that happened on their planet.
I'm not saying
out-
Pi's right.
Oh no, you're horribly wrong. Gods die, and that's a big part of your character arc, but we're not worrying about that yet.
Turns out,
Not yet, we'll get to
turns out
that.
the
Don't worry.
planet they sprouted on discovered you can in fact nuke God. It was not a good thing.
And as he finishes up, he's like, I'm going to retire for the evening. Thank you for the conversation and the ability to talk to her before her tales fall into the records of old. And before she goes, she stops, and she reaches behind your ear
And pulls out a coin.
and pulls out a green emerald feather. And she pauses and looks at it and goes, "Oh, didn't realize he was still around." And passes the feather to you and heads up the stairs towards sleeping quarters.
If I will look at the feathers. How long has that been there?
Wouldn't you like to know, Feather Boy?
And also a little bit. I mean, of course he's still around. He's a real god.
A real god whose name you don't know.
Wasn't that Incus of Spring?
Oh, Incus of Spring, right. Sorry, you did know that. You don't know the other thing, right. Sorry.
The other thing.
The other thing.
The other thing. The ominous thing.
The ominous thing. Actually, let's tease the ominous thing. And
Okay.
as you hold the feather in your hand after Nuek retires for the evening, you notice at the edges of the feather begin to frost. Like how that frost took you to this world.
I
So,
wonder if the god of spring and the god of winter are having an argument again. That would be unfortunate. The last ice age was terrible.
fair enough. Do you tell anybody in your party which you volunteered to go do?
Yeah. I'll come back to them and so, sit down, look at this feather. Ah, we did not have any other plans for the morning, did we?
Not yet, but
Oh good, I have made some. Would you guys like to go to a funeral of a false god?
A what now?
Oh, do not call it a false god to her face, she is still in mourning.
I heard some of what was said, but I am interested.
What is funeral?
It is a ceremony in which you give honor to the life of one who has fallen and intern them in their eternal resting place.
You can see the horrible question marks.
Been to my share of those lately, but never for a god. Oh, but you say it's
It's not
See,
God.
that's- Zeev, that's the individual. And Tataran told us that we should possibly talk to, right?
Yes. Mention that as possible source of interest.
And we'll definitely want to join you.
Excellent. We are to meet here very early in the morning, around dawn, I believe, so that we may set off to the, looks at notes, Vault of the Gods. Gods, quotation marks.
God bone is a very powerful material.
Would you settle for Avatar?
It may suffice. Is he very calculating how to reply to that?
Then there could only be great harm in asking.
Absolutely fair. As you're sitting there, Yarnock, you've been having a good night. You feel a familiar gaze of eyes on you, staring into you, that brings up memories of your old home, the dry one.
He's gonna look around till he finds who's staring at him.
From their tables, you catch the glances of the two Pluven dudes who look up and then, like, realizing that they've been caught staring, they kind of like turn back down to their maps.
He gets up, the chair creaking as he does, and he just kind of lumbers over there.
As you get up, you hear the quiet conversation. Oh, fuck, he saw us looking at him. Shit. It's fine. We're gonna go up and talk to him anyway. Dude, he's like 9 feet tall and built like a brick shit house. We might have pissed him off. Hello?
Stands there at their table and go, hello.
You seem like a strong, capable person. And very clearly, one of them is grumpy and one of them is not. This is the quote-unquote happy one saying this. You seem like a strong and capable person of violence. Do you like violence?
No.
Would you do violence for coin?
I don't know what that is.
And the grumpy one's just shooting like bird glare daggers at the other one. And the kinder one is reaches into his pocket and he puts out a small bag and opens it, and it is some form of silver and gold coins. We're looking for some people who would be willing to help us on a hunt tonight. And it looks like you could do a good job helping us with a hunt tonight. Would you like to? This whole bag could be yours.
He's looking at the bag, like, uncomprehendingly. He's like, what are we hunting? Why?
The grumpy one goes to eat and gets a kick under the table. So you are a new arrival, of course. We haven't ever seen someone quite as dashing as you, and there's another kick under the table the other side. But, Pluven are carnivores by nature. We do not eat plants. We must eat meat. So my companion and I were planning on a hunt to get rations for a longer journey we were preparing for. The rest of you can be watching this conversation go on. I think it's funnier if you are just watching.
Yarnock did just get up and walk in a straight line towards these people.
But some of the prey we were thinking of handling is a little bit bigger than the two of us could take on. And we were like, well, who could we ask? And we looked at the bar, and lo and behold, we have someone who looks like a dragon, and dragons are really good hunters. So we were going to come up and ask, and then you looked at us, and now here we are.
Okay. You can keep whatever this is, and he, like, pushes the coins at them and go, I just want
This-
some food.
Ms. Eve, who has shuffled up, actually slips a vine over to stop it from sliding over. We are friends of Yarnock, and a hunt, you say?
Yes. We would be doing a hunt this evening. We believe the quarry we've been tracking down, and you look down at the map, Ms. Eve, and you can see it's actually a geographical map of the relative area. And he's pointing at a section on the map. We believe our quarry is here, near this certain stream. And if we can get over there and get the target down, with extra help, we should be able to get it in. We'd be willing to pay the coin and give some meat for our good friend Yarnock here.
It's just, he's looking at Maziv like, wait, why do you want this? What is this?
It's good for trading.
Okay, you can have that.
Thank you. Ms. Eve already took their portion the last time there was gold divvied up. Ms. Eve is just, it's like, I will help maintain it for you.
Yeah, Yarnock has no concept of money, so I'm basically just putting his care in whoever's hands that I give the gold to.
That's fair. Would it just be you two this evening, or would your other companions be interested in helping with the hunt?
We shall ask them. We have plans in the morning, but if it is a hunt through the night, shouldn't be too bad.
Honestly, if knowing what our quarry is, I don't think it would be much more than an hour's journey there. Hopefully it's not too long of a hunt. And then the gruffer one's like, I do like me my good hunts. And he's like, shut up, bud. We can't do you do 6 hour slaughters and they take too damn long.
So he's gonna, like, lumber back over to everybody and go, they're willing to give us this weird shiny stuff that Maziv wants if we go hunting.
Tonight. They have a prey staked out relatively nearby, they say, and require help because it is something too much for just the two of them. They're willing to pay us and give us a portion of the kill.
Wait, does it have... Did you know... Does it have feathers?
They did not say what it is.
They did not, no.
That is actually a good question. Shuffles back over. What is the target?
Well, the ideal one we've been tracking down is a rogue bull Centrosaurus. Though if we do find something else in the evening instead of the Centrosaurus, you would be compensated for the hunt. That kind of a deal.
Let's see.
And the gruffer one goes, it's not always precise when it comes to these things. We need the food. We're not going to be picky about it. We've got this bull. We've been tracking this bull. But if it's not the bull, we're at a point where we need to take what we can take. No people. Just animals.
I see. Shuffles back. A bull Centrosaurus, which is, I believe, some kind of ceratopsin like we've seen.
You look over to Minarak, who's a bipedal version of it.
Yeah. And they specified they're not hunting. They will not hunt people, but just animals. And if we cannot find them, or that specific one, we are to help them hunt down other food. Perhaps with feathers.
Right. I mean, I'm not one personally for hunting, but I suppose if somebody gets hurt, it would be good for me to be there.
They did seem to imply that because they can only eat meat, this is the equivalent of just, securing their food. So, worthy.
At this point, Fairink, who's the bartender, since you're back at the bar, is like, Pluven don't do eat meat. We don't farm meat that they would need for long-term journeys. So it's not an uncommon practice. Though if you do go up north to one of their villages, which, psst, that's where one of the druid circles is. They gotta go interact with later.
Okay.
If you do go interact with them, they do more ritualistic hunts. They will do bloody nights that are not safe in the forest. It's a bit spooky if you ask me, but,
I believe I would be safe, and that would be fascinating to observe.
I mean, a good chunk of the party is immune from that, right? One of you's a plant, one of you's a rock.
Yeah, Maziva and Agalma just go watch, like, sightseeing.
But, Carice and Scree are stand-up fellas. Well, Carice is a stand-up fella. I've had to toss Scree out a couple of times.
I normally would not be eager to begin a campaign so late in the evening. However, I am feeling quite energetic for some reason.
Oh yeah, that coffee will keep you up, and then when it crashes, you crash. Have fun
When
with
I
that.
what?
He was like, when you crash. Have fun, he says, turning back to go deal with other patrons.
I'm feeling a little bit of that liquid courage, you know.
Bodagoma.
Oh, I like hunting. I'm down.
So, Agoma, we've established that the world that you and Laudeman come from are Greek-inspired to a point where Laudeman's god is literally Apollo, right? Did we ever say which temple of which god you were trapped in for who knows how long?
No.
I don't know.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
This is fine.
No worries. Just making a mental note.
Not a huge fan of how you brought that up right after. I'm like, oh, let's go hunting.
No worries.
Nah, it's chill, child of Artemis. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's fine.
So you go back, you grab Carice and Scree, and they're like, alright, so we've got the location here. We will be reusing a map. So when you go, hey, wait a minute, we've been here, just reusing a map. So it'll take us about...
How many times have you seen that one jungle map in Bright and Tide? Like 5?
That's fair.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you.
No, you're good. My own brain derailed, you're fine. So I will need someone to make a survival check, because one of the Pluven will make a survival check. And then I need someone to roll me a d4 and hope you don't get a 1.
Who's good at survival?
I have a 3 in it.
I have a
Same.
3.
I have a 2.
Survival.
I have a 6 in nature, but I don't think that will be applicable.
No, this is specifically for getting to where you need to go.
I have a 6 in survival.
Well, okay.
Yes, I'm making the check.
Go for it, my dude.
Pretty high bonus for raid.
God, Latimer had such a high survival. Didn't really help that much.
Yeah, that's good enough. It does take you about an hour, maybe a little more. But you come out alongside a small creek in the jungle, looking vaguely familiar, as it does. And the two brothers stop you, and it's like, look, it's up ahead. And up ahead is, because you rolled a 2. Where did my icon go? I was just using it. Wait, there is my boy. There is my boy.
Got a different map now?
Yes, I need to switch you over. Thank you for reminding me. Bada bing. Back to the canyon of oh fuck we go.
Okay.
Everybody's favorite map.
Fine.
Just give me 1 second. Okay, just cool. So here by the water's edge, up on the northern part, you guys are down on the bottom right. And closer to the upper right is a Centrosaurus. And by his hide, you can see in the broken nose horn, he's been through life quite a bit. This is an old bull. He's a fighter, but he's alone. So he's probably been ousted from a herd.
Fi empathizes.
And Carice goes, perfect. This is the guy we've been tracking down. He got booted out of our herd about 2.5 months ago by a younger male. It's impressive he's made it this far, but will at least be quicker than any other carnivore here would. So everybody who's on the map, I need you to roll me an initiative. And then let's get a good hunting theme going.
Whoops. I did not have my token selected. Did you add me to initiative?
I will add you to initiative. And turn. We will make you 17. Turn order set. We will roll for these boys, see if they get anything good. Roll 20 is not liking me tonight. Oh, it's not liking my NPCs. That's my problem.
Classic roll 20.
Yeah, because one of y'all rolled a little high. For flavor purposes, you go first, Sarah.
Oh. I'm going to just kind of shuffle in and try to blend in with the plants.
Okay.
And I'm going to hold my action to mind sliver it once combat breaks out, so it doesn't just charge right into the group.
Sounds like a plan. Would you roll me a stealth for hiding in the plants? You can still
Do I get
hold your
any
action.
bonus for it. 12.
Okay. Fair enough. I'll say that it is the Centrosaurus' turn. It has not noticed you guys yet.
Oh, actually, wait, could I... I'm going to hold my action to not cast the spell, but to use my racial feature, entangling roots, so that once it's within 30 feet, coming closer, I'm going to cast it, so it gets stuck.
Okay. Well, it starts meandering this way down through the swampy creek. I'm going to have it roll a perception check real quick. Let's see if the dice like us or no. Book, give me answers. So it turns its head and it notices the crew of beings standing on the edge, and it is going to step closer. That was probably its movement there. And it is going to roll an intimidation check. So, I would say you have advantage on any save you would want to make, Sero. Or if you want to do your thing. But for everybody else who's standing there on the cliffside at this moment, I need you to roll... What do you roll against an intimidation? I don't remember.
Wisdom save?
Wisdom saving throw. The goal is to beat 12.
It's not a very good roll for me, so...
Are we all rolling wisdom saves?
Yes. Cool. Everybody else is just kind of like, okay, it's angry, it's defensive. Yarnock, that's loud. It's night. You don't like that. Spooked. That's not a special... That's not a special anything. And that'll be its turn for now.
Since it's within 30 feet with its turn, it's now entangled.
Okay, so it is not going to be able to move.
Until the end of its... Yeah. It can't move until the end of its next turn.
Yep.
Or it takes the disengage action.
So that goes to Yarnock next. This is loud and spooky and scary.
Well, I'm gonna rage, because it pissed me off.
Okay.
And then, let's see. Yeah, I can get to it. You just watch him just kind of charge between these two tiny people. And let's see.
Yeah, that fucking
Probably.
hits.
Being how tall Yarnock is, you probably stepped over them.
And then I think that gets 2 extra damage at this level. I think.
Okay.
Rage.
Yeah.
I will take... So that's 11 damage. I will do the math accordingly. This is going to be an interesting one. All
Yeah,
right.
for first and second level, it's 2 damage.
Yeah.
No, it's 2 damage up until level 8.
So, Scree, who does not want to be shown up by this new guy. Let me see. Let me find his. We'll use that one. He runs up alongside you here. And he's going to try to hit with his bite attack, because of course he's not doing anything sensible. He's just trying to bite. And then the bite hits. but it's not really effective against the scaled hide. Alright, that's the NPC's turn. Next is Laudeman.
Getting attacked by a chihuahua.
Yeah, kind
What's
of.
that?
It's your turn.
Like a cow getting attacked by a chihuahua. Oh, but sorry. It's your turn, Waterman.
I'm just looking at my spells.
Okay, sorry.
I'm gonna use. Is this supposed to? No, this does. I'm gonna use Bane. So Latimer casts Bane on the Centrosaurus.
Okay, so it's a charisma saving throw. It beats.
Debuff goes. Ooh.
What's this
Oh, no,
charisma
never mind.
bonus?
No debuff.
Yeah, it says a charisma saving throw. It does have a bonus to its charisma, actually, for some reason.
Oh, I get it. Charismatic megafauna.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, darn. Debuff didn't work. Ah!
I really should have done the mind sliver. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. No worries. So that is Laudeman's turn. Agoma. There's a weird
Oh,
drake.
Give me a second. Cool. I am gonna run right up here. We're gonna block it.
Get that flanking, yeah.
And then I'm gonna punch it.
Yeah, you didn't need the flanking, that hits. Okay.
Okay. And then I'm gonna hit it again because I can hit it as a bonus action.
Okay. That one doesn't hit.
Okay. It's fine. Just run right up and just punch it and then miss the second one. I was so excited. The first one hit.
Yep. And that first one did get a pretty good hit on him. I'm sure that do that. Okay. The second one just kind of hit a thicker, like you had a good solid meaty spot with the first one. The second one hit bone, so it didn't quite get the same result.
Oof.
Though he does look like he felt it. All right, now it is Fi's turn.
Yes, it is. I'm going to take a dash action to get all the way over here and stance the fuck up to make sure it can't run away.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Then the other Pluven, he's gonna hop in down here. Actually, he's gonna probably stay back. That would make more sense with what he has. I should use bookmarks more often with this since I'm using the physical fucking book, but no. Don't think of that until I'm halfway through the session. And he's going to do something a little odd. Okay, to roll 20. You like that one better. Making a note that Corey gets good stuff when he actually casts a spell. as he reaches in and pulls out a chunk of what looks like a small vine in his hand, and he whips it back into a full wine back, and hits with a thorn whip, dealing a good chunk of damage.
The nasty thorn rip.
I am making thorn whip up as I go along, don't worry. I could look up the spell, but we have things to do. So, top of the round, Maziv.
It just means they're 5th level.
Yes, that actually would make sense for what I was building for him.
So, seeing everyone's got it surrounded, I'm going to just
So,
not do much damage.
no, but it is a saving throw he doesn't have a buff for. But
The dinosaur's pea brain worked in its benefit. A walnut-sized brain.
Roll 20.
Roll 20 really likes this old bull Centrosaur. I guess I'm making him a character later on.
I'm not used to trying to scramble dinosaur brains, apparently.
I mean, to be fair, they're fossils from where you're from.
The sliver slides off the smooth brain.
I'm picturing like you throw the sliver out and it catches in the frill and it ricochets off and there's a sound of a bird getting a mine sliver somewhere in the trees.
No. I did see a monstrous ceratopsin that they were like super intelligent and it was like a brain underneath the frill. It was a cool image.
Fair enough.
I think it was like someone's kaiju OC or something.
Yeah, I can see that. But now it is the Centrosaurus' turn, and already so many of you are just in line. So it's going to attack, but it's going to aim for the Pluven, because it doesn't know what a Yarnock or an Algama is, but it knows what a Pluven is. And it fucking whiffs with its horn. Of course you would, buddy. You know what's going to happen.
Things.
Question: how close are all of you? Interesting. You are not quite in.
I would be further out, but the map edge is there.
No, you're fine. You're not in the 30-foot range. As a bonus action, Centrosaurus may flood its frill with blood and creating a bright, colorful display that shines in the moonlight. All enemy creatures within 30 feet of Centrosaurus that can see it must succeed a DC 10 Charisma saving throw or have disadvantage on saving throws for the next 1 minute. So everybody but Cero, who's out of range, make me a Charisma saving throw.
Here we go.
Yarnock and Laddie, you have disadvantage for 1 minute on saving throws, specifically. Don't worry. I don't have a whole lot of those. It is just a Centrosaurus. Yarnock, it is your turn. It's flushing its blood at you.
It's gross. So 1 greatsword to hit,
Yeah, that hits.
and then +2, so that's a 10. And then, since I don't have to use my bonus action to start my rage because I'm already in it, I'm going to hit him with a bonus action. But okay,
Okay.
that's heaven or hell right there.
Wow.
And another 10 damage.
So all I'm imagining is you are head first with the horn area of this fella. Like his head is, where's my? I'm on the measure tool. So his head's pointed like this way roughly, because he just tried to horn him. And you're just like bit down on it and right on the flushed frill, and there's just a squirt of warm, juicy blood in your mouth.
I mean, to me personally, that sounds disgusting, but Yarnok's probably enjoying himself.
It's a familiar sensation, I'm sure.
It tastes pretty alright. Laudeman, it's your turn.
Has anyone gotten hurt yet?
No, it's attacked once and whiffed.
Really want to use another spell, because I literally can only do one more spell. But it doesn't feel in character for Laudeman to attack either. At least yet.
No worries, we're getting there. We're getting there. You're closer than you think.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go. Laudeman did get a little bit intimidated. So, maybe in his heart he's shooting more to, like, maybe slightly back it off, but he's gonna fire with the crossbow.
That hits. Roll for damage.
You click on the...
You click on the name.
Okay, that's new.
Yeah. You shoot a bolt out and it hits into his hide, true. And you hear a low moan about, like, almost fall out of the Centrosaurus's mouth. And he is not looking great.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Okay. So, Scree, bless his dumb little idiot heart, was going to try to bite him again. Hits. And he gets a good gets a good bite off of him. From his, like, cheek range. But he's still standing. Agalma, it's your turn.
I'm gonna go ahead and punch him again.
Yeah, that hits. How do you want to do this?
Oh, I don't know, man. Can I punch his spine and just, like, snap the spine?
You know what? That works. You lean.
It's quick. It's efficient.
You lunge forward. Fist swings out, aiming for that part of the spine just by the neck, trying to snap it. It hits true. Yeah. There is a resounding, very verbal crack of bone, and, like, almost like a sigh, the Centrosaurus exhales and falls into the mud. I used a weakened stat block because I didn't want to kill my players this time.
And we kicked its ass.
Yeah, It probably. So I like nerfed it by 30 more hit points, but I figure I don't know how long we have tonight. I don't know how late y'all can go, so I probably should just keep it at the weekend stat block.
Yeah, that's fair.
The two Pluven approach. Scree begins the fun, gory process of processing a carcass. But Carisi, the more magically inclined one, will approach you all. It's like, we thank you very much for your assistance with this. We are traditionally pack hunters by chance, and with the two of us alone, we may not have been able to take it. But you, together, all of us together, were able to take it down. You have our thanks. And after a few minutes, Scree will approach you, Yarnock, with a nice long cut of tenderloin from the shoulder. And he goes, "Here you go."
He'll take it and thank you.
You're welcome. It's one of my favorite cuts. And he just goes back.
Like before last time killed. Oh, sorry.
I was just chuckling.
Ms. Eve did stick a root to get a sip of blood into the body.
As you're doing that, Scree, as he's butchering it, will look at you and be like, "Huh, should have figured you were carnivorous," and then just keeps on going back at it.
Oh yes, there are very valuable vitamins I cannot get otherwise.
Okay. So with that hunt, the party gets 200 gold and 300 silver payment, and one large cut of meat.
Actually, Ms. Eve might actually. Could we take the horn?
The two paws talk with each other, nod and shrug, and go, "You are participants of the hunt. If you wish to claim trophy, you have the right to claim trophy." And then Scree will butt in and be like, "I already got one from this guy, this kind of species before. They're one of my favorites to hunt, so all yours."
Getting Yardok's help will pry out the horn and be like, if anyone wants to turn this into something.
You have one broken Centrosaurus horn. It came pre-broken. And as you guys are chilling around, you hear a familiar bird song all of a sudden. Particularly you, Lodeman, who's hanging back a ways from the carnage.
Mm-hmm.
And you look to your right, maybe. Where did I put that icon? And you see a bird. I'm going to make it big so you can see what kind of bird. It is not this big.
Oh, a honey catcher? Or a honey...
This is...
A bee catcher? What are those ones?
Out of character, this is the Hawaii Oo.
Yeah.
The one specifically from the island of Hawaii. You notice there is a bird on a bush. You need a bird feather to get things.
Ottoman looks at it, but wonders to himself how exactly to get a feather. He looks at the crossbow that he has, but hearing the sound of the Centrosaurus playing again in his mind, he just kind of shudders at the thought.
Do I see you looking at this bird?
No, you're busy drinking the blood.
Okay.
Tasty, tasty blood.
Trying to think what else. Lodeman doesn't want to shoot the bird. How high up is it?
It's on a bush, roughly. It's a little bit above your head. It's about 5 feet off the ground.
Okay. Lodeman doesn't see any other option, so he's gonna try to just sneak up on it, even though I have no specialty in stealth. A survival would work too.
Survival would work, or animal handling, if you have it.
Nah, survival's my thing.
Okay.
Survival to try to sneak up on it, see if he can just catch it. Little.
You walk up, sneak up closely to it. To be fair, the bird doesn't seem to notice you, and your hands get around it gently, and it surprisingly takes it well. You know, it's squawking, but... So now I'm going to blow the bird up again so you can see it, because I'm going to write it down specifically. What feather do you take?
I shouldn't take anything from your wings. That could make it hard for you to fly, right?
The yellow feathers seem to be higher up and won't affect flight. You could take one of those.
Yeah, he's gonna kind of like stroke at it a little bit to see if something comes out.
You do for a bit, and a yellow feather does come out.
Bird feathers. That is out of context. Could have been a weird sentence. Alright, so with the yellow feather, Lodeman lets the bird go.
Okay. And you take the pressure off and it kind of straightens itself up in your hands. It almost stands in your hands for a moment. Like this isn't the first time this has happened. And it flies off. Into the night.
That's strange. Wonder what kind of bird that was.
If you have nature as a skill, you could roll to try to figure it out, maybe.
I do not have nature as a skill.
If you want to roll it anyway, you want to try, I'm always willing to let people try. Because it's fun. Click, clack, dice, make... You don't know what kind of bird that is. You have a good idea of how to describe it to somebody, but you don't know what bird that is. Okay. So, real question, how late can people run?
I should probably get heading out soon, actually.
Okay. So we won't get to the fun thing tonight.
Yeah, same here.
So,
this was fun.
okay.
This was fun. What
No.
are you talking about?
So this is fun, but I have a fun special surprise that I've cooked up with a friend of ours to specifically treat you to some wacky surprises. I'm having an absolute blast running this, but I was hoping we would get to the super secret surprise. But it almost makes sense because you have one more side quest, and then you have the Druid Challenge coming up, and then maybe even a level 2.
Dun dun dun.
But for now, we'll say this is where we end. Do we want to do a zinger? Does anyone have a moment they'd like to end on? Or do we want to just leave with you guys marching back as the Pluve and get to work? Their dirty, dirty, gruesome work that is oddly fascinating.
If you have a stinger.
Do I have a stinger? I do have a stinger. I always have a stinger.
Bring out the wasp.
Somewhere else in the realm of Gonbarra, a noise emerges from the underbrush. Here, the magica gates that had brought you in has also been active, and a small furred thing runs out. It's about the size of a terrier dog. And one could be forgiven of that or mistaking it for a particularly large rat at a first glance. But with double tusks and a strange pointed head, it sniffs the air, confused. This isn't the island that had been devastated by its brethren and that were feeding upon each other. No, this is home. This is safety. There is life here. There is food here. And a realm for the killer shrew to take over.
God damn it.
And as it, squeaks in delight, a footfall hits the dirt. And then a second. And it turns around and gazes upon something it's never seen before. A large, massive animal, over 55 feet in length, with a strange blue-green tint across its entire body that almost swirls in the moonlight, and eyes that glow with more than just the natural reflections that one would have in the nocturnal setting. And its mouth opens, and time briefly stops. And that's where we'll end it.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
That's interesting.